If you walked into a tattoo shop 15 years ago, you'd probably be asked to grab a mop and shut up. The industry was a fortress, and you had to earn your way in through blood, sweat, and mopping a lot of floors. It was brutal, sometimes even toxic, but it produced a specific kind of artist. Fast forward to 2026, which is right now, at the moment of this recording, the walls have been turned down, or rather torn down. You can buy a machine online, be it on Amazon or even on Temu, for like $50, watch a 3-minute TikTok, and call yourself a professional by Friday. But here's the problem: the industry is eating itself. We are losing the soul of the craft in exchange for content and some quick cash. Today, I'm going to take a bit of a risk with this video because I'm going to be talking about why the tattoo apprenticeship is dead, why the scratcher culture, if you've heard the term scratcher before as a derogatory term for people who are trying to get into tattooing for themselves, why that isn't what you think, and a dangerous reality of an industry with no gatekeepers. So, if you're trying to get into an industry, or maybe you are a client who doesn't understand why your tattoo didn't heal right, you definitely need to hear this. Let's talk about the old guard. For those who don't know, an apprenticeship used to take 2 to even 3 years. So it's kind of like a degree in terms of length and what you needed to prove yourself. You didn't get to touch the machine for at least a year. You cleaned tubes, made needles by hand. You even got to learn the chemistry of pigments and got to watch a whole lot of tattooing going on. You learned the vibe of the shop. You even learned how to handle a difficult client before you even touched the machine or handled the needle. And then you might ask yourself, why does that matter now? It's because it taught you respect for the skin. When you had to wait at least a year before you even touched the machine, it taught you to kind of respect the weight of what it is that we're going to be doing. You realize that the skin is a living and breathing organ and not just a piece of paper. Today, that patience is completely gone. We live in an era of instant gratification. If someone isn't tattooing already in 3 months, they think that they're failing. But the truth is, they're just dangerous, as in people who think like that. When I'm scrolling through online, I see different posts because obviously I'm in the tattoo space, and I see a lot of people asking, why do you need an apprenticeship anyway when you can learn everything on YouTube? And look, I get it. I too make educational content. Information, I believe, should be accessible. But there's a massive difference between information and mentorship. YouTube cannot tell you if you're stretching the skin enough or if you're stretching it too hard, or rather stretching it, because you do need a bit of a stretch in order to actually be able to deposit the ink into the skin consistently. But then it's more than just the stretch. It's about the sound of the machine. It's about the feeling of the vibration in your hand. When we remove the mentor, we remove the safety net as well. We are a generation of artists that are great at drawing up designs on an iPad, but have zero understanding of cross contamination and bloodborne pathogens. The YouTube Academy is producing illustrators and not necessarily tattooers. I think there's a big difference. Might be controversial to say, because the gates are open and the market is flooded. And when the market is flooded, the prices, they go down. We are seeing flash sales everywhere, which is basically a race to the bottom. You have artists undercutting whatever they're supposed to charge because they're trying to make rent. But then this sets a new standard for what clients expect the certain pricing for whatever tattoos are happening in your area is. But unfortunately, when you charge too low, you can't afford the best needles. You can't afford the best inks. You can't afford the time to properly sterilize your station. And now, unfortunately, clients begin to see tattoos as a commodity, like a pair of shoes, and they go around shopping for the best price. But unfortunately, you cannot return a bad tattoo or exchange a yeast infection, or not a yeast infection, like a staph infection. Forget about the yeast infection. We are divulging our own industry by allowing the standards to drop so low just to stay relevant on social media. And this leads us to what I call the content trap. And now I know this one is going to ruffle a few feathers and maybe rub some people the wrong way. We have become so much more obsessed by the video of the tattoo and not the tattoo itself. I've seen some tattoo artists spend 20 minutes setting up the tripod, trying to get the whole setup for the video. So that is perfect. But then they won't even spend 5 minutes on a consultation. They like, that's too much. We are tattooing like it's not for life. We are choosing colors that look amazing under a filter, but then they turn to mud in 2 years. We're doing micro realism that looks amazing on a 4K screen, but it's going to disappear after that client goes for one or two tanning sessions, or maybe they spend a little bit too long in the sun. The content trap is a bit of a distraction. Your job isn't to be a videographer, it's to be a craftsman or craftswoman, ladies. If your portfolio is 90% edited photos and zero healed work, you're not really an artist. You're more of a marketeer at that point. And I guess there's a space for that. I'm not knocking it. I just think these are some of the conversations that we hardly ever have, and we have feelings about it, but no one is starting any conversations about it. So, where does that actually leave us as an industry? Are we doomed? I think not. We need a great reset, not like the World Economic Forum World Reset. We need to bring back the mentorship model to an extent, though it might look a whole lot different than it used to look back in the day. I think it was a useful, aspect of, if you're aspiring to be a tattoo artist yourself, I think you should look for a mentor, one who makes you feel comfortable. But at the same time, they need to be capable of making you uncomfortable and be ready to receive some sort of criticism if your work is bad until it actually becomes good. And if you're a client, look for the quiet professionals. Look for the artists who talk about safety, longevity, and ethics more than they talk about their follow account. I'm trying to build a little bit of a middle ground on alicetattoos.com, a place where we can use tech to enhance the craft and not replace it. The traditional apprenticeship might be dead, but the standards don't have to die with it. Well, you can drop a comment in the comment section below and tell me what you think. Is the industry better or worse now that anyone can join? I'd like to start some sort of a debate and hear your thoughts. My name is Washington. Thanks for sticking with me this long. I'll see you in the next one.